Court. It was moved to Cumberland County from Somerset in the effort to find an impartial jury. This case obviously garnered a lot of emotion, a lot of publicity. So right now we're going to listen in as Judge Robert Mullen renders his verdict.
That John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions. So say you, Mr. Foreman, so say you all.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Be seated. First of all, I want to tell each of you.
Your Honor, before you do that, may you poll the jury, please?
Certainly.
I'm sorry, I don't know if this is the proper time, but
It is, Madam Clerk, you can call.
Juror number 93. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit either murder or murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 12. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 75. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 64. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 64.
that's what you just
I missed that one.
That's what you just
64. Juror number 24. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 359. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 247. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole? Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 3. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 94. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 59. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions? Juror number 53. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
Yes.
Has the state proven that John Williams did, with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Juror number 323. Do you find that John Williams is guilty of murder of Eugene Cole?
I do.
Has the state proven that John Williams did, with the use of a firearm, namely a Ruger 9mm handgun, serial number 317-65479, commit murder as defined in the jury instructions?
Yes.
Any further inquiry requested?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, first of all, I want to start by thanking you for your time and service. I fully understand that this was not an easy case to sit on a jury for. It was over an extended period of time. We had certain delays beyond our control that you took with good humor, especially those of you who didn't get the message and showed up yesterday. It's important for people to recognize that this is a civic duty and a civic obligation. And I would be less than candid if I said that at times I think people are too busy or think they're too busy. And they think that, getting a summons for jury service is, I think I said when we were picking juries, like getting a notice of a root canal or something. But it's critical, and it's more critical than ever in this day and age that we have citizens willing to step up and serve. And I, at the risk of repeating myself again, it's one thing, to talk about civic duty and civic service, and it's quite another to actually come in and serve, and it's quite another to come in and serve for over a week. And all of you did that. All of you did that the way we want people to do it. You listened carefully. I watched members of the jury from time to time, and I was very impressed with how serious you took your role. And that's all we can ask for. I hope that you feel good about what you've accomplished by serving, because you have accomplished something. And I just want to thank you for everyone involved, for your time and service. And I would be happy to come and speak with you once we get through here in the courtroom, if anyone wants. I mean, that might be the last thing you want, and if that's so, it's completely understandable. And so, my feelings aren't going to be hurt if there's no one in the jury room when I come back out there. But if you want to, if there's any questions about the process or how we can make it better, I'd be happy to try to answer questions that I can't answer. So, anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and so the jury is excused with our thanks.
Please rise and march to the jury.
What you have just witnessed is the jury's verdict for John Williams. He is the man accused of gunning down Somerset County Sheriff's Deputy and Corporal Eugene Cole. That happened in Norwich Walk in April of last year. They moved the case to Cumberland County because of the extreme publicity and the emotion surrounding this case. He was a beloved sheriff's deputy in that area and really in the entire state of Maine as people heard this story. and found out more about just who he was. The judge there was Judge Robert Mullen, thanking the jury for their time and attention. You heard the attorney for John Williams asking to poll the jury, methodically going through each of the 12 jurors and asking them specifically if they did indeed find John Williams guilty of murder. Really the best that they had hoped for in this case. The defense and Vern Paradis, his defense attorney, was a charge of manslaughter, a conviction on manslaughter. They admit that John Williams pulled the trigger, but they insisted the entire time that he did not intend to kill Deputy Cole, and that is really the difference between that murder and that Manchester charge. Shannon Moss from Newsletter has been following this trial since the beginning for jury selection all the way through testimony. She is outside Superior Court in Cumberland County in Portland right now. Shannon, can you hear me, and what's your take on all of this?
Really taking what was 7 days out of their life to be a part of this process to make sure that John Williams was in fact given a fair trial. It took the jury a little less than 4 hours to come back with their verdict. We actually thought about a half an hour ago, we got a call that the jury was coming in and we thought that was it. But what happened was the jury wanted to see, Cindy, that dashboard cam, the video from inside Corporal Cole's truck from the moment when Corporal Cole drove to that house on Mercer Road to look for John Williams, and then from that moment when John Williams jumped in. And I know, Cindy, we talked about that yesterday. That time frame was like less than 90 seconds when that all happened. So the jury came in, they watched that video, and then they went back out, and it wasn't more than 30 minutes later when they came back with the guilty verdict. Again, this has been a 7-day trial. They anticipated it would go about 2 weeks. But the interesting thing about this case, I've covered many, and you don't often hear the defense coming out. Their opening line in their opening statement is, we're not going to dispute almost all of the facts in this case. It is very rare to hear that, but they didn't. All along, they said and admitted that John Williams did, in fact, shoot and kill Corporal Eugene Cole. That was never the argument. The argument was whether it was intentional, whether he knowingly shot and killed Corporal Cole. Defense attorney Vern Paradis, throughout this trial, was trying to hammer home the point that Cole was so strung out on drugs that for more than 15 months he was, quote, taking drugs like he was breathing air, and that prohibited him from making a sound and rational decision that evening. He called witnesses to testify about the state of his mind, about being in the woods, about not going without food, going without sleep, and trying to get his confession thrown out. And of course, that didn't work either. The judge allowed that confession, except for maybe 90 minutes or a few minutes of that or so. So again, it was a fast day in court today. The jury got their charge, their case at 10:45 this morning rather. Took less than 4 hours for them to come back with the charge of murder. Now, in Maine, murder, it can be up to life in prison. The manslaughter charge was capped at 30, so we'll have to see when the judge does his sentencing what that looks like for John Williams. Cindy?
And Shannon, sentencing is yet to be set, correct?
That's true, yes, and I was just, in fact, wondering if the judge was going to do that while he was speaking to the attorneys once the jury left, so we'll find that out later to see if a date has been set.
And one other question. I know that Corporal Cole's family had been in the courtroom. Sure. Were you able to see them, and what was their reaction to the verdict?
Yeah, Cindy, I absolutely did, and you could tell it was sort of a look of relief, I guess, the way to say it. They were very stoic throughout the entire testimony, throughout the entire trial. I know hearing the closings was difficult because Deputy Attorney General Lisa Marchese, you know, she was blunt in her closings about how Corporal Cole was killed, talking about that reenactment, Cindy, that we talked about that the state showed. It was powerful. It showed that Williams was indeed, according to scientific evidence, shot execution style. And that was very hard for them to hear about his last moments. And that Corporal Cole said no, so that he knew he was going to be shot.
That is tough stuff indeed. Shannon, thank you so much for your reporting on this. We thank you for joining us. Again, if you are just tuning in, John Williams found guilty by a jury today of murder in the shooting of Corporal Eugene Cole. That's going to do it for us. We're going to have much more tonight on Newsheader and online as well.